Hi, in this video I'm going to talk to you about how to process a leaver. Now, if you're an enrolment officer, within the enrolments menu item and the subcategory of students, you'll see the process leaver menu option. If you click on this, it will take you to the process leaver page. Now what you can see here is there are two tabs: the individual student, which allows you to process the student individually, and the final year students, which means that for all the students that are in your final year, they will all appear on there, and you can actually update fields by either individual student or a group of students, depending on which ones you select. So then, in the first instance, we'll have a look at the individual student tab. Now, if I search for student here, using the field and select on the student, it will bring me the details for that student up here. Now if I scroll down a little bit, underneath the leaving details, it shows me the fields that I need to enter some information in. The ones with the asterisks are the ones which are actually mandatory. So for the first two fields, you can see you got the NQF qual and non-NQF qual, which are basically talking about the qualification framework. So these are mandatory for students who are years 9 to 15. So for primary schools, we've defaulted it that no formal attainment has been set within these two fields. For the next field, you've got the last day of attendance. Within here, you can actually either type in or you can select within the field by clicking on it and choose from the day picker the last date of attendance for this student. I currently select the 25th of October, the field will get populated with that date. You can then choose the reason for leaving. Again, you can select from the drop-down menu by clicking on it, and in this case, we will say that Imogen is transferring to another school within New Zealand. So next upon, we got the teaching and learning notes. From here we can actually indicate whether the school will hold any teaching and learning notes, and to do this you can actually click the checkboxes, which will put a little tick next to whichever notes it is that you actually store for the student. For the receiving school, who will eventually enrol this student, the only way you'll know whether these teaching and learning notes are available at the previous school is by actually logging on to enrol manually. So the final two fields in here, you can actually enter information, are the intended region or the intended destination school. So in this case, I'll put an example of a intended destination school by clicking or typing in partial the name and then selecting that school. This will become useful for those schools who have SLT. That will eventually be in the product at some point, and what a enrolment officer can do is search by the students who have left particular schools, and that was where it will be actually useful for them to for people to actually put that information in. So actually now we've got the information here all as we want it. We can actually click the process button down the bottom right hand corner, so click on that and it will process the leaver. What this will do is obviously trigger and make the student now a leaver, and what it will also do is make that student now available for the enroll process leaver process, which I have spoken about in another video. So what we can do now is look at the final year students tab. If I select that, that will come up with a very similar looking page. So we can see here as the top part is you've got very similar fields to what we had on the individual student tab. It's just the NQF attainments fields which are missing, and below it you've got a list of all the students that are in the final year of the school. So what you can do is fill in the information up here much the same way as we did in the other page. So I'll just do that quickly because it's the same process. Again, I'll put in just Remarkables as an example school that these students could be transferring to. What we have below is a list of students here. Currently you've got the student names, the date of birth, any rooms that they've been assigned to, a leaving date if it has been set, because you can update this information later and just supply a reason for change for doing so, a reason for leaving, and then you also got the checkboxes. Now the checkboxes are there for you to actually select the students that you wish to apply the data that you've entered in the top part of the page to. So the information that we've put in here in the top part, what I'll do as an example is just select the top 3 students by clicking within the checkbox next to their names. Now I want to update these students with the selected information. I click on the update selected button, and what that will do is apply the information to these individual students. As we can see here, These students are all leaving on the 25th of October and they're transferring to another school. That school is Remarkables. Now you can do that and apply that to the group and set of students all here below, and that's the way you can actually process all your final year students if you know where they're all moving to. And indeed remember that these two bottom fields are indeed not mandatory, so it's a very quick way of just updating and processing your final year students. If there's any more information you want on this process, you can actually click on the help menu item and that will bring up some more pages about this process.